Most people don't realise it, but the reason so many of us feel lost isn't because we've failed, it's because we've spent years building lives that were never really ours. We did the right things, kept the wheels turning, even hit the targets, and somewhere along the way we forgot who we were doing this for. This isn't about throwing your life away. It's about understanding why the life you built stopped feeling like it belonged to you, and what it really takes to make it yours once again. When I first felt that spark of purpose, I didn't rush towards it. I pulled back, because for as long as I can remember, being seen meant performing. Do well and I get praised. Stay in line and get noticed for the right reasons. Somewhere along the way, I learned that being accepted meant being who they wanted, not who I was. That's where the split begins, the outer self that performs and the inner self that quietly watches. It was always someone else's script, my parents, my teachers, later my clients. So that's who I became, the one who gets it right, who does what's expected and makes it look easy. And somewhere along the way, I lost the other part, the one that didn't need to prove anything to anyone. When that feeling turned up, the one that makes you stop and think, hang on, what am I really doing here? It didn't feel freeing. It felt like a threat, because it wasn't the world pushing me. It was something inside me. It came from the part of me I'd buried. And if I let it speak, the life I built to stay safe, well, it might not survive. I built my whole life around what other people expected. In meetings, I'd match their values. In business, I'd wear the right face for the job. I became whoever people needed me to be. From the outside, it looked solid, confident, successful, but they weren't seeing me. They were seeing a reflection I'd learnt to give them. And big opportunities, they didn't lift me. They started to scare me, because deep down, I knew they'd test me. Not just my skills, but the part of me that I was hiding. Each one risked showing the truth, that the life I'd built on the outside didn't match the one I felt on the inside. And that scared me more than failing ever could. There were times when everything looked right from the outside. A good business, a strong family, a solid plan for the future. All the things you're told that matter. But inside it felt wrong, like wearing a pair of shoes that looked the part, but just didn't fit properly. They rubbed, they hurt, and the more I tried to walk in them, the worse it got. Every step looked right from the outside, but inside it felt wrong. The tight chest, the shallow breath, that sense you're forcing something that's already finished. That's what it feels like when the real you starts pushing up against the mask. Everyone else might admire what they see, but you're the one who feels the rub underneath the mask. That happened every time I built something. I'd pour everything into it, the hours, the energy, the focus. And then one morning I'd wake up hollow, like all that work had been for someone else's dream. When that feeling came, I always did the same thing. I'd just walk away from it. Didn't matter how good it looked on paper. Once it felt hollow, I just couldn't stay. You can't keep showing up to a life that's already empty. It reminded me of being a kid again, when I used to build with Lego. I'd spend hours on it building castles, cities, all built to impress. I wanted to look perfect, Then I'd sit there staring at it for a while, and something in me would just, want to start over all again. So I'd break it apart back into pieces. Now looking back, I can see it started there as a child with that Lego. One part of me always wanted to impress, to build something that proved that I was enough. But the other part, the quiet one, didn't want to prove anything. It just wanted to be still. To build for the sake of building, not to be seen. That part never shouted. It just waited. And I think that's the same part that still speaks to me now. Now that's the truth that most people never talk about. That you can build a beautiful life that doesn't fit. And no amount of effort or achievement will make it feel right if it isn't built around who you really are. There was always a moment when it hit me. Not a breakdown, not some big drama, just a stillness. A few seconds when I could just see the truth. I'd look around at everything I'd built, the house, the business, the life, and feel like I was living someone else's life. Nothing outside had changed, but inside the spark had gone out. The noise had stopped. It's like the part of you that used to push forward just goes quiet, and what's left is silence that you just can't ignore. Underneath that silence, I could feel something real starting to wake up. The bit of me I'd buried for years. And what's strange is it never showed up when things were bad. It always came when everything looked good, when people were shaking my hand saying, "Well done, Mark," when I should have felt proud, but instead I just felt hollow. That's when it would hit me, that quiet voice. This isn't me. You've built all this, but it's not where you live inside. At first I thought it meant something was wrong with me, that I couldn't just be happy like everyone else. But it wasn't that. It was the part of me I'd buried, the real me, finally pushing through the noise, trying to be seen. And once you've heard that voice, you can't unhear it. You can ignore it. You can drown it out. You can bury it again. But it's always coming back. We build these lives because they keep us safe, because showing who we really are feels dangerous. So we build walls, wear masks, keep busy, and we call it success. But after a while, the same walls that kept you safe, they start to close in. You can feel it, the weight of keeping it all going, the way it gets heavier every year. And that part of you that's real doesn't go anywhere, it just waits. And it finds you, usually when everything looks fine, when life's ticking along, and you should be happy. And there's that quiet, hollow feeling that it won't go away. That's why so many of us get lost. Not because we're weak, but because we've spent years playing someone else's part and forgotten what our own voice sounds like. Maybe you felt that too. When everything looks fine, but something deep down knows it isn't right. When the things that should make you proud just leave you feeling tired. If that's you, don't run from it. That voice isn't trying to break you. It's trying to bring you back. It's not the enemy. It's you, the part that's been waiting to be seen.